It's fine.
Jews are the fucking problem!
Who did 9/11?
The Jews.
Who killed Charlie Kirk?
Israel. Israel's behind it.
What the f?
Welcome back to my channel. My name is Eden Verbatim, and you might notice the set is a little bit different today. I have moved. I don't know if this is where we're going to stay, but yeah, I'm really excited to have a space that's more dedicated to this, and so that's really exciting. Today's episode, I want to make an argument that would probably frustrate a lot of people. My argument is that I don't think anti-Semitism is just immoral. I think it is also fundamentally loser culture. Before you click off and think that I'm just calling people names, that's actually not the argument that I'm making today. I'm using the word loser in a very specific sense. I'm not meaning somebody who has failed. We've all failed. I'm talking more about mindset. A mindset that looks at every setback in life and immediately starts searching for something or someone to blame. And I think that is actually the reason why anti-Semitism has become so attractive in certain corners of the internet. Not because it is true, but because it is just psychologically convenient. It offers the easiest explanation available. Every frustration, every disappointment, someone else did this to you. So today I want to explain why that is one of the most destructive ideas a person can adopt. And there's a few videos that I want to show as examples of such loser culture.
Numerously flirts with you.
She's also said that she's embarrassed to be with you sometimes.
I think they're behind everything since like JFK. I'm just gonna air it out because we're at that point.
Who did 9/11?
The Jews.
Who killed Charlie Kirk?
Israel. Israel's behind it.
What the f?
One thing that I've noticed is that conspiracy thinking, conspiracy-mindedness shows up in the same psychological place as chronic irresponsibility. Take this show, for example. The premise is simple. People come on because they are struggling financially. Their lives are usually in chaos. Often so many relationship problems are happening, and they're trying to understand how they got there. Now, of course, not everybody on Financial Audit with financial issues and problems believes in conspiracy theories. And not everyone who believes in conspiracy theories has financial problems, and that is not the claim. But when somebody responds to questions with the Jews constantly, well, I feel like that shows a certain kind of pattern of thinking this person already has. I feel like there, in the conversation of self-improvement, the conversation kind of ends. There's no longer any room to ask, what decisions did I make that led me here? What habits do I need to change? What can I practically control? The conspiracy becomes a substitute for self-examination. And I can totally see how somebody who is struggling with finances or relationship and trying to organize the chaos in their life, it's so much easier just to find one thing to blame. It really is. It removes the need for accountability. So just looking at it from a pattern recognition standpoint, it makes a whole lot of sense that somebody who would have the habits of landing them in the kind of situation that they are financially would be prone to the type of thinking that takes away the burden of accountability. And ultimately, anti-Semitism encourages intellectual and moral passivity. It tells people that the decisive factor in their life isn't their discipline, isn't their judgment, or even their character. Instead, it is a hidden force operating beyond their control. And that's what makes it so attractive. But it also robs you of agency. And on a more practical end, the kind of patterns that deviate responsibility from you, that allow you to get into a place of financial instability and lack of control, that is also a stripping away of agency. So it leads you to ask the question, if somebody else controls everything, why make improvements at all? Why become disciplined? Why take ownership of failures? You've already convinced yourself that your effort doesn't matter, and that is temporarily freeing. And that is why I think anti-Semitism is ultimately a philosophy of resignation. It offers an emotionally satisfying explanation at the cost of personal growth. And that is a terrible bargain. And there's another video that I would like to show you that I think also drives home the point I'm trying to make.
This is Jews are the fucking problem!
What's your stat, homie?
I don't give a fuck how drunk I am! Jews are the fucking problem! I don't give a fuck! That be my ass!
Alcohol is yours! Alcohol is yours!
What?
Alcohol is your problem!
I wish it was my problem.
It's the truth! That's why you abuse your wife or you abuse whoever you can on your alcohol. Go worship your alcohol. Go worship your alcohol. That's your God. The Jews aren't your problem. Your alcohol is your problem.
Amen, brother. Couldn't say it better myself.
Go get sober, man.
Yeah, but am I yelling for really no reason? I mean, for what? Tell me, what am I being aggressive for? Tell me. Somebody tell me, what am I being aggressive for?
Come from, brother. You don't know yourself. You're
Man,
drunk.
what are you talking about? All I'm saying is y'all are over here tripping about the Epstein files, and all I'm saying
You have God. You have God.
Incredible. Incredible example of what I am trying to drive home here. What we have here is a drunk guy going crazy, screaming about the Jews, and obviously he's mentally incapacitated and he's drunk. So, I mean, a lot of bad life decisions are involved when it comes to getting absolutely plastered and screaming something out in the middle of nowhere. I don't really have to explain to you why this man is a loser. And I find it very poetic how the person who is yelling at him to shut up and kind of giving him a life lesson on why his belief system is so incorrect is somebody who's also kind of from the lowest of lows. A homeless man. I just find that kind of poetic and interesting. See, every ideology begins with a diagnosis of the human condition. Some ideologies begin with responsibility. And I feel like here in the West, especially in Protestantism, there's the idea of Protestant work ethic, right? Radical accountability, taking responsibility for oneself. And that is, I feel like that is a hallmark personality trait, if you will, of the West. But other ideologies begin with victimhood. And anti-Semitism, as an ideology, begins with the assumption that the fundamental obstacle to your success exists outside of yourself. The Jews are the universal explanation, like we saw in Financial Audit. Your financial struggles. Although he didn't say that outright, I'm sure that thought has probably not been very far from entering his mind. Your political frustrations can be blamed on the Jews, the globalists, the elites, what people are calling now the Epstein class, social isolation. One of the subgroups that shares some overlap with the anti-Semitic crowd is the incel community. An incel is built on the premise that members within their community that are generally heterosexual men cannot find romantic partners despite wanting one, blaming women for their inability to be successful in finding one to be in a relationship with them. And I find that interesting that that community has major overlap with the anti-Semitic Jews run the world conspiracy theorists. Everything is ultimately attributed to the same external force. It seems like we live in a day and age where being a loser has more social currency. And just like we saw with the left, grievance has more social currency than responsibility. Now, people always say this, and I'm going to say it as well. The woke right and the woke left, they are built on the foundation of grievance culture. Now, there's so much more that I could say about the emerging loser culture. I think that in some ways it's existed throughout all of history in different forms. And I think the internet has made some of these ideas more distributable. But I think that it really does go back to the human condition, our need, our fleshly desire to blame, to see ourselves as the victim. Instead of picking ourselves up by the bootstrings and going, we have a knee-jerk reaction to see everything around us as the reason for our failures. And it really doesn't surprise me that anti-Semitism and conspiracy thinking finds a home inside of people who already have patterns that lead to blaming anything else but yourself. And that's just not the type of group that I want to be a part of. So thank you for tuning in today, and if you like this video, please leave a like and comment, and I will try to interact with everybody as best I can in the comment section. But till then, I will see you in the next video.